Hello everyone, and welcome to Mind Matters. Today, we're diving into a fascinating topic that I'm sure many of you are curious about. How to read anyone instantly. Whether you're meeting someone new, navigating social situations, or just want to sharpen your people reading skills, this video is going to give you the tools to understand what someone is really thinking or feeling in just a few moments. So, let's get into it. When we meet someone for the first time, we're often overwhelmed by the sheer amount of information that comes our way. There's the way they dress, the way they talk, their body language, facial expressions, and even how they react to what we say. All of these little details contribute to the overall impression we form of a person. But how do we cut through the noise and get to the heart of who someone really is? That's what we're going to explore today. Let's start with a basic premise. Communication is so much more than words. In fact, experts often cite that a large portion of our communication is nonverbal. Some say it's as high as 93%. This includes body language, tone of voice, facial expressions, and even the micro-expressions that flicker across our faces for just a fraction of a second. So, while what someone says is important, how they say it is often more revealing. Imagine you're meeting someone for the first time. As you approach, the first thing you might notice is their posture. Are they standing tall with their shoulders back? This can be a sign of confidence, suggesting that this person feels secure and in control. On the other hand, if they're slouching or seem to be curling inward, it could indicate discomfort, insecurity, or even disinterest in the interaction. Posture is a fundamental aspect of body language that can tell us a lot about someone before they even say a word. Next, let's talk about eye contact. It's often said that the eyes are the windows to the soul, and there's a lot of truth to that. Eye contact can be incredibly telling. Someone who maintains steady, comfortable eye contact is likely engaged and interested in the conversation. However, if they're avoiding your gaze, it could mean several things. They might be nervous, shy, or perhaps they have something to hide. But be careful not to jump to conclusions too quickly. Cultural differences can also play a role in how comfortable someone is with eye contact. One of the most intriguing aspects of body language is how people use their hands. Have you ever noticed someone rubbing their hands together during a conversation? This is often a sign of anticipation or excitement. People do this when they're hopeful about something good coming up, like they're literally warming up to the idea. On the flip side, if someone is clenching their fists or keeping their hands tightly closed, it might indicate tension, stress, or even anger. The hands can be a direct reflection of what's going on in the mind. So paying attention to these small movements can give you a deeper understanding of someone's emotional state. Another subtle but powerful clue comes from the way people position their feet. Believe it or not, the direction someone's feet are pointing can tell you a lot about their true intentions. If their feet are pointed towards you, it's a good sign that they're engaged and interested in what you're saying. However, if their feet are angled away, especially toward the nearest exit, it might indicate that they're ready to leave or not entirely invested in the interaction. This is a subconscious behavior, so it's often a more honest indicator of what someone is feeling than their words might be. Let's not forget about facial expressions. While a smile can be inviting and friendly, not all smiles are created equal. A genuine smile, one that reaches the eyes, is often a sign of true happiness or pleasure. But sometimes, people smile out of politeness, discomfort, or to mask what they're really feeling. To tell the difference, look for the tiny crinkles at the corners of the eyes, what some people call crow's feet. If those aren't present, the smile might be more of a social tool than a reflection of genuine emotion. Now here's where things get really interesting: micro-expressions. These are incredibly brief, involuntary facial expressions that happen when a person either deliberately or unconsciously conceals a feeling. They last only a fraction of a second, but they can reveal true emotions like anger, happiness, disgust, or fear. Spotting microexpressions takes practice, but once you get the hang of it, it's like unlocking a whole new level of understanding people. Tone of voice is another crucial element in reading people. How someone says something can completely change the meaning of their words. For instance, A sarcastic tone can make a compliment feel like an insult. Pay attention to the pitch, volume, and speed of their speech. Is their tone warm and inviting, or is it cold and distant? Are they speaking quickly and nervously, or slowly and deliberately? These vocal cues can provide valuable insights into their current state of mind and how they feel about the conversation. When observing someone's behavior, it's important to consider the context. Let's say someone crosses their arms during a conversation. On the surface, this might seem like a defensive gesture, signaling that they're closed off or uninterested. But before you jump to conclusions, consider the environment. Are they cold? Is there something around that could be making them uncomfortable? Context is key in accurately interpreting body language. A fascinating thing to watch for in social interactions is mirroring. This is when someone unconsciously mimics your body language, tone of voice, or even your choice of words. It's a strong sign that they're comfortable with you and that they're trying to build rapport. Mirroring is a natural human behavior that fosters connection. So if you notice someone doing it, it's a good indicator that things are going well. Another subtle but telling sign is how someone responds to personal space. If they lean in closer to you, it might mean they're interested in what you're saying and feel comfortable around you. However, if they lean back or create more distance, it could be a sign that they're feeling uncomfortable or trying to maintain a barrier between you. Again, cultural differences can play a big role here, so it's important to be mindful of the person's background. Let's also talk about the art of conversation itself. The way people talk about others can reveal a lot about their own character. If someone spends a lot of time praising others, talking about their achievements, or expressing admiration, it's likely that they possess those positive traits themselves. On the other hand, if they're quick to criticize or badmouth others, it could be a reflection of their own insecurities or negative traits. Another thing to note is how people handle silence. Some people feel the need to fill every pause in conversation, which can be a sign of nervousness or discomfort. Others are comfortable with silence, which can indicate confidence and a sense of ease. The way someone manages these quiet moments can give you clues about their personality and how they're feeling in the interaction. While we've covered a lot of ground in terms of nonverbal cues and subtle behaviors, it's also important to listen to the actual words people use. The language they choose can tell you a lot about their mindset. For example, someone who frequently uses I statements might be more self-focused, while someone who talks about we or us might have a more collaborative or inclusive approach. Pay attention to how they frame their experiences. Are they often playing the victim, or do they take responsibility for their actions? These linguistic patterns can provide deeper insight into their worldview and personality. In addition to everything we've discussed, it's essential to remember that everyone is different. While these tips can help you get a better read on people, they're not foolproof. People are complex, and their behavior can be influenced by countless factors. Past experiences, current mood, environment, and even the specific circumstances of the moment. That's why it's so important to approach each interaction with an open mind and avoid jumping to conclusions too quickly. One last thing to consider is the power of intuition. Sometimes your gut feeling about someone can be incredibly accurate, even if you can't quite put your finger on why. This doesn't mean you should rely solely on intuition, but it can be a valuable tool when combined with the observational techniques we've discussed. Trusting your instincts, especially when you've honed them through practice and experience, can lead to more accurate assessments of people. In conclusion, learning to read people instantly is both an art and a science. It requires a combination of keen observation, an understanding of nonverbal cues, and an awareness of the broader context. By paying attention to body language, facial expressions, tone of voice, and other subtle behaviors, you can gain valuable insights into what someone is really thinking and feeling. And while no method is perfect, with practice, you'll find yourself becoming more attuned to the nuances of human interaction. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope you found these tips helpful and that they'll give you a new perspective on how to read people in your daily life. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. And of course, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. What's the first thing you notice about someone when you meet them? Let me know, and I'll see you in the next video.